Hello everybody, Marcos Villegas being joined here with Mikey Garcia, who unifies this Saturday against Robert Easter at the Staples Center on Showtime. This is a big matchup, unification. Looking at you and observing your career, I think it's safe to say you're in the legacy building phase of your career. When did that click in for you, wanting to start building that part?
It's something that started 2 years ago when I came back. I had already been champion in 2 divisions, but it wasn't as special. I was almost expected to be champion, and it was just something that I picked up. Now I want to prove to everybody that I'm much more than people see, much more than what people expect. That's why I'm taking on the biggest challenge, the biggest fights that will really push me and challenge me and bring out the best out of me.
That's why it doesn't surprise me when you mentioned Spence, because looking at that, I'm like, no, he wants to build a resume, a legacy where people look back and be like, hey, Mikey fought guys who were champions and the big names, and we'll touch on that. But this is the first time you've been down to 135 since, I think, January of 2017. How's that process been like after 2 fights at 140 going back down to 135?
Well, even 140's never been my most comfortable weight. It's not my natural weight. I've been there on a few occasions, but I can definitely see and feel the difference in weight with my opponents. So 135 is naturally a better fit for me. I feel comfortable. I'm fine. I'm good on weight right now. I feel really, really well here at lightweight. But the reason why I move up is for those challenges. If there's nothing exciting at lightweight, nothing that can be done at the moment, then I'm gonna move up for whichever biggest challenge is available.
I know you've been dieting on carrots, right?
That was part of the video there. It's a lot
I was gonna bring a bag of carrots for you just to make a joke. I saw that. I thought it was pretty funny.
That's all actually the guys Jairo and Braulio from Mexican Ways. Good friends of mine. They came up with the whole skit. They came up with the whole idea. They thought it'd be funny to mention some carrots for Bunny out here and the steak. It's just it's their ideas. I can't take credit for that, but it's pretty funny.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good joke. Looking at the Robert Easter as well as an opponent, who does he remind you of that you faced? Or is he like kind of a unique combination of a lot of things, you feel?
He's a little different than other opponents. I mean, even though he does have the height and reach, advantages, I don't think I've ever faced anybody with those quite advantages. I have faced taller opponents as well. Even the last time I was here, I fought Guzman here at Staples 7 years ago, and he was taller and had a longer reach. But Robert Easter is a little different. I mean, he doesn't quite use the reach all the time. I'm sure he can box. I'm sure he can stay on the outside if he needed to, and I think that's what he's going to try to do. But he also likes to fight. He likes to kind of give up that advantage and just fight. That's in him. He's a warrior, and I hope he comes with everything he has, because that's what I want. I want the best Robert Easter. I don't want any excuses.
Do you think that part of him will come out? Like at some point he'll start letting his hands go, maybe get a little sloppy, and that's when you can play to your strengths and catch him with something big?
Well, I'm sure it'll be something that, if I can catch him in exchange, that I'm gonna try to take most full advantage of. And I think at Spurs he probably will, let his hands go in those ways and in exchange and just fight. But overall, I think that's what his trainer here, Kevin Cunningham, is here to do, to remind him not to, and try to keep him on the outside, try to box, try to stay, using his height and reach. But I'm ready to do whatever it takes to win. Like I say, I'm not expecting just one Robert Easter. I'm expecting the best Robert Easter.
He mentioned on stage that he felt you were a bit overrated, and looking at that, I don't know. It kind of was like, we saying that, but you fought Adrian Broner, who's like one of his close friends, and I'm like, is he saying Adrian was overrated? That's just me thinking. But what'd you make when he says that, seeing the opponents you've had and the run that you've had at this point?
I mean, anybody can criticize and discredit anybody. It doesn't matter. Once we get in the ring, he's gonna realize that I'm a lot more than he expected and a lot more than he thought. And that's probably the question that you should ask any other of my opponents. How was it, going into the fight versus leaving the fight? What do they think of me, going into the fight versus after the fight? Because I'll tell you, everybody has one thought going into it, but a second, very different thought after.
What would it mean for you to be unified lightweight champion of the world if you were to win on Saturday? Where does it list in terms of accomplishments?
It's a huge accomplishment, for my career, for my legacy. Not many fighters are able for whatever reasons, sometimes they're not able to unify the titles, and I'd be able to, secure that, second title in the same division against an undefeated world champion. That's going to be huge in my career and another step closer to greatness, to accomplishing, what I'm here to do.
You mentioned Spence, but there's Lomachenko out there as well. If you had to pick the two, which one's more challenging, which one intrigues you more, and why? Because both fighters, fans want to see you fight, and they're both very makeable fights, I think.
I think the Errol Spence fight excites me the most. It's a little more dangerous, bigger threat, bigger challenge, moving up in a 5th division where everybody's telling me no. I think that one probably will have me as an underdog, and that's why I want that more. A fight with Lomachenko would be a great fight. I would love that fight. I don't think that's possible this year. So why am I going to chase anybody that's not going to happen this year?
Usually when a fighter calls someone out, it's because they see something there that they can win or they can exploit. So you see something there in Spence then?
I see the threat and the challenge, and that's why I want it. I think overcoming that kind of fighter and beating that, that fighter will just tell everybody, the caliber fighter that I am. And if I'm able to and willing to move up and weight up and down and take on the biggest fights like that, no one else is doing that. There's no other fighter doing that. They may defend their title several times. They may move up once or twice or whatever, but, it's still kind of, lightly chosen. I'm going after the best of the best in every division. I'm not going just after any fighter. I'm going after the best, undefeated champions. I don't think anybody else is doing that.
All right, Mikey, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Nice suit, by the way. It reminds me of the McGregor suit. I was thinking you'd have like a little writing or something there. Mikey, thank you so much. This man right here, this Saturday on Showtime, attempts to unify the lightweight division, taking on Robert Easter.